What are my rankings of the Gallagher Brothers solo albums from worst to best? Let's find out. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rock Squad channel and welcome to my rock albums ranked for the Gallagher Brothers solo. Before we get to it, guys, if you love to rock out as much as we do here on the Rock Squad channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Make sure to like this video, we'd appreciate that, and make sure to share this video online with your friends and fellow Gallagher Brothers fans. So in honor of the fourth studio album from Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Council Skies, coming out in just 2 weeks on June the 2nd, I thought it'd be time for me to do a rock albums ranked of the Gallagher Brothers solo records, Liam Gallagher and Noel Gallagher. As anybody who watches this channel knows, Oasis is my favorite band of all time, and I've already done an Oasis rock albums ranked here on the channel. I'll link that up for you so you can watch that and check out my rankings of all the Oasis studio albums. But I thought since Noel Gallagher's new solo album is coming out, I figured it'd be a great time right now to do a ranking of all the Gallagher Brothers solo albums. And by solo albums, I mean all the albums from Beady Eye, Liam Gallagher, and Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. And I'm kind of a weird Oasis fan, I guess, because obviously Oasis have been broken up for quite a while now, and I would love for Oasis to get back together. I think that would be amazing. I would love Oasis to get back together because they're my favorite band of all time. But from a musical standpoint, I've really enjoyed being a fan of Liam and Noel's solo material. I feel like we've gotten double the music over the last decade or so that we would have if they had stayed together as Oasis. And they have different solo styles, of course. Noel Gallagher continues to be a powerhouse songwriter and producer and does pretty much everything himself, whereas Liam Gallagher, after Beady Eye broke up, he went more into working with producers and songwriters. But either way, I think that both Gallagher brothers have put out really solid solo material. Since their inceptions as solo artists, they put out really solid material all the way through. They continue to put out really good music, and I love both of their solo careers, and I thought it'd be a good time to do this ranking. So without further ado, let's do the Gallagher brothers rock albums ranked. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm actually going to include Noel Gallagher's run of EPs that he did in 2019. He released 3 EPs in 2019 and 2020 that I thought were really solid and kind of make up kind of an album on their own. So I'm going to include that on this list as well. I'm going to call it This Is the Place for all those EPs. All right, so coming in at number 9 on my Gallagher Brothers rock albums ranked, we have B, which came out in 2013. This is the sophomore album from Beady Eye, which was essentially Oasis without Noel Gallagher. When Oasis broke up in 2009, the remaining members of Oasis, Liam Gallagher, Gem Archer, Andy Bell, and Chris Sherrock, continued on as the band Beady Eye. And I thought, they did a good job without Noel Gallagher. I thought they were pretty good as a band. It's kind of a shame that they didn't last. But when it comes to the Beady Eye albums, I think that B actually is a pretty weak effort. I think that the debut, Different Gear Still Speeding, is a fantastic album, a fantastic debut from Beady Eye, and that's a little bit further up on this list. But I had to put B in at number 9 just because it's probably my least favorite of all the Gallagher Brothers solo albums. I think that the songwriting on it isn't as sharp as it should be. There's not a lot of filler tracks on here. They're not as strong as they should be considering the pedigree. You have Liam writing songs, you have Gem writing songs, and you have Andy writing songs. And in a lot of instances, those 3 guys can't really equal the songwriting power of Noel Gallagher, which is, that's just how it goes. Noel Gallagher wrote some of the best songs of all time, so he's one of the greatest songwriters ever, so it's hard to live up to that. And particularly on this album, I do like a lot of the songs. I love Flick of the Finger, Face the Crowd, Second Bite of the Apple, Is Right. I'm just saying, but then I find there's a lot of filler tracks as you get on throughout the album. In the deluxe edition of the album, the bonus tracks are not songs that have really stuck in my head over the years. So although I did enjoy Beady Eye as a band, I felt like this second album just wasn't strong enough and kind of contributed to the downfall and eventual breakup of Beady Eye, which then launched Liam's true solo career. They were a great band, and you know what? Maybe just a band, Oasis, without Noel Gallagher wasn't the best idea at the time. So coming in at number 9, we have Beady Eye and B. And coming in at number 8 on my Gallagher Brothers rock albums ranked, we have those 3 EPs that I was mentioning that Noel Gallagher did in 2019 and 2020. He did Black Star Dancing, he did Blue Moon Rising, and he did This Is the Place, which kind of continued on from the sound that he was doing on Who Built the Moon. Now, when we get into the review in a couple of weeks for Council Skies, we'll talk about this more in depth, but there are 2 different types of Noel Gallagher fans. There are those who really like him to stick to doing more of that acoustic, melancholy kind of stuff that he used to do in Oasis, and then there's those who kind of dig more of the experimental electronic stuff that he's done over the last couple of years, particularly on Who Built the Moon and on these 3 EPs. But I think that although it's not as strong as some of the other full albums that he put out that'll be further up on this list. There are some really strong tracks over the course of these EPs. I'm not a huge fan of Black Star Dancing, but I love This Is the Place. I love A Dream Is All I Need to Get By. I think that's one of the best Noel Gallagher songs in a long time, as well as Evil Flower. Sail On is a great song as well, and it's a shame that it wasn't put out as a full album, but I wanted to include these 3 EPs on this list because I kind of find it to be an essential part of Noel Gallagher's solo discography, and I think that this was a really great effort from him, and I'm hoping that the strength that he's had as a songwriter, as a solo artist, continues on Council Skies. So coming in at number 8, we have the 3 EPs he did in 2019 and 2020, but for the purposes of this video, we'll just call it This Is the Place. Coming in at number 7, we have Liam Gallagher's solo album, his 3rd solo album from last year in 2022, called Come On, You Know. This is a great solo record from Liam. I don't think it's quite as strong as You Were and Why Me, Why Not, but I really dug the experimental vibe that Liam went for on Come On, You Know. He stuck to his overall style and his singing style and his kind of Liam Gallagher-ness, his rawness as an artist, but he kind of switched it up and went a little bit experimental. Not totally experimental like Noel does from time to time, but he did some really interesting things production-wise and with the songwriting on this album. It's, like I said, not quite as strong as You Were and Why Me, Why Not, but it's got some great songs on it as well, like Diamond in the Dark, Don't Go Halfway, Come On You Know, It Was Not Meant to Be, Everything's Electric, Better Days. This is a great record. There are stronger records on the list, and really when it comes to these rock albums ranked, it's not like the albums at the bottom of the list are bad and the ones at the top of the list are the best. It's just my own personal preference, but really it's more just like which ones do I like better than others, even though I love them all a lot. And I think that Liam has put out a lot of really great solo material as a solo artist, and I've really enjoyed everything he's done. Really enjoyed this record. It took a little bit to grow on me. I didn't love it right away, but I really do like it now. So coming in at number 7 on the Gallagher Brothers rock albums ranked, we have Come On, You Know. Coming in at number 6, we have Noel Gallagher's 3rd studio album from 2017. We got Who Built the Moon, and as I said earlier on this list, Noel Gallagher's solo material is a little bit controversial for fans who really like him to be more traditional with the acoustic-y, melancholy, melodic stuff, and then some who like it more when he does the electronic and experimental kind of thing. And this album in particular is where he started doing that with his production with David Holmes. There are some more traditional tracks on here, but then he reaches out with his production the same way that Liam did on Come On You Know, and really there are a lot of great songs on Who Built the Moon. I love Holy Mountain. I think that's a great single. Ricky Martin comparisons aside, I love Holy Mountain. I love Keep On Reaching. She Taught Me How to Fly. Black and White Sunshine. If Love Is the Law. There are some filler tracks on Who Built the Moon that I think weaken the track listing overall, like Interlude, Wednesday Part 1, and End Credits, Wednesday Part 2. To me, for my money, when you have 11 tracks on an album, to do 2 filler tracks like that aren't really even songs is a waste of the track list. But I do love this album. I love the artwork too. This is probably my favorite artwork of any Oasis Noel Gallagher solo record, and I think it's a really strong effort. Maybe not as strong as the other Noel Gallagher records on this list, but still a great record, and I like either side of Noel Gallagher, and I'm hoping that Council Skies will live up to his previous solo records. So coming in at number 6, we have Who Built the Moon. Coming in at number 5 on our Gallagher Brothers rock albums ranked, we have Liam Gallagher and his sophomore solo record, Why Me, Why Not, continuing on from the strong songwriting and production and really the great vocals from As You Were. I think a lot of Liam Gallagher's solo stuff has way better vocals than some of the latter day Oasis stuff, so glad to hear that he's picked up his socks in that regard. But this continues on the strong production that he did with people like Greg Kurstin and Andrew Wyatt, the strong production that he did with them, and the strong songwriting. And I don't mind that he works with different songwriters on his records, because you know what? He's a great songwriter himself. He's a great artist, and he should work with people who can amplify and make what he's doing even better. And this is a great Liam Gallagher solo album. I love pretty much the whole thing. My favorite track on the record has got to be One of Us. I love Shockwave. I love Halo, Now That I Found You, Be Still. I love The River. I love some of the bonus tracks on the deluxe edition of Why Me, Why Not. What was that? Invisible Sun. I think that's one of my favorite Liam Gallagher solo tracks. That kicks a lot of ass. And as great as Noel has been, Liam Gallagher has met him and equaled him in terms of their solo material, and that's really why I love both of their solo materials so much, because it's just been strong from the get-go when they started their solo careers. So coming in at number 5 on my rock albums ranked of the Gallagher Brothers solo material, we have Liam Gallagher and Why Me, Why Not. Coming in at number 4, we have the debut album from Beady Eye, Different Gear, Still Speeding. You know, I think this is one of the better solo records from the Gallagher brothers, even though it's not completely solo. It's a band. It's Liam Gallagher along with Gem Archer, Andy Bell, and Chris Sharrock. Their first album without Noel Gallagher. Beady Eye is essentially just Oasis without Noel Gallagher, but for my money, this is the better of the two Beady Eye albums. It features a lot of songs that were left over from Oasis that the guys had written for Oasis, and then Oasis broke up and they had to utilize those songs. Songs like the Roller and Millionaire, and some of those other songs I think that were meant for Oasis. I know for sure that the Roller was supposed to be an Oasis song. It's written by Gem Archer. It's a great single, probably one of the better singles that they put out. But there's also a lot of great songs on this as well. Four Letter Word, I love Millionaire, Beatles and Stones, Wind Up Dream. I love Bring the Light. I think that's a really funky, great song with the piano on that as well. I love The Beat Goes On. I love Three Ring Circus. And for my money, this is the better of the two Beady Eye albums. It's a shame that they broke up, but then the members of Beady Eye have all intermingled with the Gallagher brothers because they started out playing with Liam, but now Gem is with Noel. Chris Sharrock is playing drums for Noel. Andy, of course, is continuing to do his solo material with Ride as well as his solo stuff, and then like Noel Gallagher doing his thing. So it's like, I don't know, they've all continued to do great things, and it's really cool that they were a band. It's a shame that they broke up, even though they've done a lot of cool things since. But I guess we don't really want a Beady Eye reunion. We want a full Oasis reunion. But for my money, Beady Eye was a good band. So coming in at number 4 on the rock albums ranked to the Gallagher solo stuff, we have Beady Eye in Different Gear, Still Speeding. Coming in at number 3 on our rock albums ranked for the Gallagher brothers solo albums, we have Noel Gallagher and Chasing Yesterday. I think this is a fantastic sophomore record from Noel Gallagher, and his solo material from the get-go has just been absolutely incredible. There are so many great Noel Gallagher songs that live up to the pantheon of great Oasis songs. If you ask me, I know that Liam is the more of the rock and roll kind of guy. If you want that Oasis sound, you go see Liam, but if you want the songwriting and the wisdom that comes along with it, Noel Gallagher is where it's at. And for my money, there's so many great songs on this record. I think Riverman is a fantastic song, one of the best that Noel's ever done. In the Heat of the Moment, Lock All the Doors, which is actually an Oasis song that he repurposed. Noel Gallagher used a few older Oasis songs in his solo career as well. The Right Stuff, The Mexican, We Can't Go Back, The Ballad of the Mighty Eye. This is a really great solo effort from Noel and proves how great of a solo artist he is. And there is one more Noel Gallagher record on this list that we'll get to, but coming in at number 3, I think this is a fantastic effort, and I think for a lot of fans, this is probably one of their favorite Noel Gallagher records. So coming in at number 3, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds and Chasing Yesterday. Coming in at number 2 on our Gallagher Brothers rock albums ranked, we got Liam Gallagher and his debut solo album without Beady Eye, his debut solo album from 2017, As You Were. And this was really a coming out party for Liam. I thought he did really great work with Beady Eye and wrote really great songs for him, but then he decided to kind of take control of his solo career after the demise of Beady Eye and really put his best foot forward as a solo artist, working with different producers and songwriters to make a really great record. And like I was saying earlier on, for me, like his solo material, his voice is even better now than it was on like Oasis records like Heath and Chemistry or Don't Believe the Truth or Dig Out Your Soul. He's done a lot of really good work, and he sounds fantastic. And the key for me that really made this record a hit for me and put it in at number 2 on this list is because the songs are just fantastic. This thing is chock full of Liam Gallagher classics that I think are all just really incredible. Like Wall of Glass is an amazing song, an amazing single. I love Wall of Glass. I love Greedy Soul for what it's worth. I love I Get By. Chinatown is great. Come Back to Me is one of my favorite songs on this record, as well as some of the bonus tracks like It Doesn't Have to Be That Way. It really cemented Liam as a great solo artist. I wasn't quite sure what to expect after Beady Eye broke up, and he's really on his own without Gam or Andy or Noel to help him write songs, but really he has put out a lot of great music in his solo career, and this is really the start of that, and I think it's a really great and strong record. So coming in at number 2 on our Gallagher Brothers solo rock albums ranked, we got As You Were from Mr. Liam Gallagher. And coming in at number 1 on my rock albums ranked of the Gallagher Brothers solo albums, we had the debut album from 2011 for Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Now, we knew that coming out of the Oasis breakup, that Noel would be okay, that he'd be able to survive as a solo artist. He was the main songwriter in Oasis. He sang a lot of great Oasis songs, so we knew that he would be a great solo artist. We just didn't know kind of like what direction he would go in. Like I said, with Liam, he went very much still in the Oasis rock and roll direction, and Noel Gallagher, although still very much rock and roll at its core, he took things in a little bit of a different direction and really honed in on the things that he did really well in Oasis. And Noel Gallagher, for me, like, still, he has an incredible voice too, just like Liam. Both of them are very different, but they both have incredible voices. But Noel Gallagher, doing some songs left from Oasis and some new material, put out one of the best Oasis solo albums, in my opinion, from the get-go. Everybody's on the Run, Dream On, If I Had a Gun, The Death of You and Me, I Want to Live in a Dream in a Record Machine, and Stop the Clocks, which are both left over from the Oasis era, aka What a Life, which showed his dalliance with electronic music, and something that he's always done. If you've listened to some of his solo stuff, aka What a Life, Standing on the Wrong Beach, Soldier Boys and Jesus Freaks. This was a record that I loved from the get-go, instantaneously when I heard it back in 2011, and for my money is still probably the best of everything that the Gallagher brothers have put out solo-wise. I think this is just such a fantastic record, and a record that I turned to and listened to a lot. There were great B-sides from this album as well, so it really is just a solid solo album from Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, and I'm really excited to see what he does and see what happens with this new album, Council Skies. I'm sure I'm going to love it. I love everything that Noel and Liam have done, but we'll see how it stacks up against Noel's previous solo material, and especially this one, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds self-titled debut from 2011, coming in at number 1 on my Gallagher Brothers Rock Albums Ranked. And that is it, guys. That is it for my rock albums ranked for the Gallagher brothers solo, Mr. Liam Gallagher and Mr. Noel Gallagher. Let me know what your rankings are for their solo albums in the comments below. Make sure to go check out that Oasis rock albums ranked video that I did a little while back. If you're an Oasis fan, you'll want to check that out as well. And we're excited for the release of the new Noel Gallagher solo album, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Council Skies, coming out on June the 2nd. So let me know which solo albums are your favorites in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Make sure to like this video. We'd appreciate that. And make sure to follow us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Rock Squad Pod. Make sure to follow my band, Fools Union, at foolsunion.com. And we'll see you guys again for another Rock Albums Ranked here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.